Nothing says winter is over like a bright spring flower. From snowdrops and daffodils to primroses and hellebores, gardeners use spring flowers as a spring marker to count down the days until temperatures rise and we can spend more time in our gardens. When selecting spring flowers, consider the location in which you intend to grow them. Most thrive in full sun or dappled shade. In fact, they will flower sooner if grown in full sun because the soil will be warmed by the sun. Consider whether you want to grow spring flowers in a pot or in the ground, whether you want a temporary or permanent display, and whether you want to plant bulbs, which are typically planted in autumn. We've listed 10 of our favorite spring flowers to grow in this video. Number 1. Snowdrops. Snowdrops are among the first spring flowers to bloom, sometimes blooming as early as January. Snowdrops are hardy perennial winter flowering plants that are often regarded as the first sign of spring. Snowdrops bloom in January and February, regardless of the weather. They will even push through frozen, snow-covered ground. Snowdrops thrive in moist but well-drained soil in partial shade. Snowdrops can be planted in the green in February and March, or as dry snowdrop bulbs in October and November. There is no need to prune plants, but you may want to deadhead spent blooms to redirect energy back to the bulb for a better display the following year. Every few years, dig up and divide overgrown clumps. Number 2. Daffodils. Would spring be complete without daffodils? These cheerful yellow flowers bloom in even the harshest conditions, adding a splash of color to the garden when there isn't much else in bloom. Daffodils or narcissi come in a wide variety of colors, including white and salmon pink flowered varieties, tall and dwarf tete-a-tete daffodils, and early and late flowering species. If you adore daffodils, you can plant a variety of early and late flowering varieties to have daffodils blooming in your garden from February to May. Plant in full sun in moist but well-drained soil, either in the ground or in pots. Number 3. Primrose. With its pale yellow blooms and fresh green, crinkled leaves, this lovely British native primrose is one of our favorite spring flowers. Primroses will form clumps over time that can be divided and replanted around the garden for a larger display. Primroses will also self-seed in the right conditions, giving your garden borders a natural look. Cultivated forms, known as polyanthus, are also available and flower in a variety of colors, such as bright purple, red, and pink. Plant primroses among forget-me-nots, snowdrops, and other spring flowers in moist soil in partial shade. Number 4. Hellebores. Hellebores are a low-maintenance plant. They are attractive from January to May, and even after their seed has set, their sepals remain attractive, eventually turning green. Their foliage is eye-catching and evergreen, and in some of the new hybrids, the marbled leaves are as popular as the flowers. Grow hellebores in fertile, well-drained soil at the front of a border, beneath shrubs or in pots, in sun to partial shade. Cut back the large leathery leaves when flowers and new foliage emerge and mulch plants annually with well-rotted compost or manure. Avoid transplanting hellebores after they have established. Number 5. Crocus. Crocuses are among the cheeriest spring flowers, supplying a plethora of pollen to early queen bumblebees. The majority of crocus flowers are purple, but there are also yellow and white varieties available. They grow from bowl-like corms that should be planted in autumn and thrive in full sun in moist but well-drained soil. Crocuses can be grown in pots alone, in gaps at the front of the border, or naturalized in your lawn. Number 6. Tulips. Tulips are some of the most popular spring flowers, coming in a range of colors, shapes, and sizes. Choose brightly colored tulips for a cheerful display or pair maroon and white tulips for a more dramatic look. You can also buy frilled and peony-flowered tulips for a different look. Although tulips aren't popular with pollinators, they still make a worthwhile addition to spring pot and border displays in spring. Plant tulips in moist but well-drained soil in full sun. Number 7. Forget-me-nots. The forget-me-not is a low-growing, cheerful blue flower. They look great when planted at the front of a border or mixed in with other spring bulbs like tulips and daffodils. Although forget-me-nots are prolific self-sowers, once they have finished flowering, they begin to appear drab and should be removed so that new vegetation can be established. Forget-me-nots thrive in somewhat shaded, wet soil with good drainage. Number 8. Wallflowers. Wallflowers are frequently used in spring bedding arrangements. Because most wallflowers are biennials, they must be sown in late spring to bloom the following spring. Alternatively, for autumn planting, buy bare root wallflowers. Wallflowers are available in 2 colors, dark red and yellow. Plant them in full sun to partial shade in moist but well-drained soil. Number 9. Lungwort. Lungwort is a lovely perennial herbaceous plant that can withstand more shade than other spring flowers. It was named after the markings on its leaves, which resembled diseased lungs. Purple or pink flowers are possible. The hairy-footed flower bee, one of the first bees to emerge from hibernation in spring, loves lungwort. For a natural spring look, combine lungworts with primroses and forget-me-nots. Number 10. Bearded iris. The bearded iris is a popular type of iris that grows tall and has bright flowers on sword-shaped leaves from May to June. Each flower has large outer petals called ruffs and smaller inner petals called falls. The bearded iris gets its name from the hairs that grow down the middle of the falls. Bearded iris should be grown in a hot, sunny bed with moist but well-drained soil. Make sure that the rhizome is above the soil and gets sun for most of the day. This will make sure that it blooms every time. Well, that's all for today's video, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button for supports our channel. Also, you can turn on the notification bell for latest videos from us. Well, see you in the next interesting topics.